All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Says we live. Let's check the feed, and we'll get right to it. All right, we live. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, Jim and Charlotte back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rekak Kodash. And before we get started, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught us his truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, we're back with another live lesson. We pray that this lesson is also edifying. All right, we want to get into this this topic, this lesson here, news and prophecy, the technocratic system, which is the beast system, man. All right, and before we get into a few videos, because I have a whole window lined up of all these different tabs that tie into the components of this beast system that's being established, right? So as people are distracted with the scandals and the corruption that's going on, and the government shutdown, the government reopening, all right, Shador Sanders finally getting to start, all of this shit that's going on out there. This system, okay, this beast system is being established right under the people's nose, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All the components of it is coming together, and like I said, not to be all over the place, but just to make a quick point. Let's pull this up too. Bear with me, because I had made mention about this at camp, and we'll go through this a little later if the Spirit allows. But this came out. This came out October 26, 2025. The Ministers of Thought, right? So it says how Sam Altman is eclipsing Mark Zuckerberg and shaping how we think. So these left-handed, modern day Chaldeans have now been given the authority over how you think and how you move throughout society by merging man with machine. All right, and that's pretty much been the ultimate goal, the end game, so to speak, when it comes to these elites. All right, so we'll get into all of that. Let's preach. You got anything you want to add in there real quick before we get started?
Yeah, I was going to add because these AI people that you see being put out on the forefront, they are heavily tied to the elites in some capacity. Like Mark Zuckerberg, we know that he's the grandson. Was it what's the dude name?
Was it David Rockefeller?
Rockefeller, yeah. And
yeah.
I forget Sam Altman's ties to the elite, but all these technocrats, they all are either funded or related to the elites. So this is the tribe of Edom, pretty much trying to administer their last ditch effort to bring in their left hand kingdom.
Yep. And the irony of it all is that they're all tiny hats.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. But the scriptures talk about how we will war with Amalek from generation to generation. We'll get that. But anyway, like I said, I want to get into this lesson here dealing with the this technocratic system, the beast. All right, this technology that's coming to pass, which pretty much they're pushing a digital oppression, because the AI itself is likened unto an entity that's going to have authority over all of mankind. And this is where we're at right now, man. So this is why these topics keep coming up concerning the inner depth of this technology, if you will. Right. So anyway, let's get into it. Like I said, Lord willing, we're not too much all over the place, but we'll grab scriptures as we go along. All right. All right. So this is from Secular Talk. This came from an hour ago. AI Armageddon is already here. Let's go to it.
So everybody sort of understands on some level, I think, at this point, that we got a big problem with AI. Like, we got a big problem on our hands for a number of reasons. I mean, for example, I covered that, I think it was a More Perfect Union video that went to, I think it was Memphis, and showed how the Grok data center that's in Memphis is just absolutely poisoning. Poisoning basically, I don't know, half of the city or something like that. And all these people now have these health problems, and it is just, it's a mess. It's a mess. So people are getting sick as a direct result of it. Of course, not only are there environmental concerns, there are concerns when it comes to everybody's job effectively being taken away from them. There are concerns on the information environment, in the sense that Now we have videos that look real as fuck. We have pictures that look real as fuck. What does that do to the body politic? What does that do?
Yeah, bear with me. My computer's a little dragging, but I just want to add to what he was saying about how realistic these AI photos, these videos, all right, that he's making mention of. Just wanted to read through the title here. And some of us, we've seen this video before, but it says Open AI Sora 2 generates realistic videos of people shoplifting. All right. It showed the guy, Sam Altman. I forgot what he was stealing out of the store, but it was a fully, AI generated video. All right. Just to show you the power of this left-hand technology that we're witnessing. All right. It says every defense attorney now has a pre-written motion when it comes to video evidence I see. Right. So real quick, if you can get because we live in the age of deception, man. All right. Get Psalms 144. All right, where it talks about the strange, rid me for the strange children. All right, that's these Edomites, man. I'll pull it up. And be patient with me. I know my computer is not moving the fastest, so we'll get through it. But Psalm 144 and try was it like verse 9, verse 10? And you know where's that at?
Verse 11. Psalms 144 and 11. It says, rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
Yeah, and the right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Your right hand represents power. All right. Esau's power is falsehood, deception. And this is the age that we live in, man. All right. This technology. All right. This left hand, power being amplified, man. Okay. So these people are their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, lies. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get this word real quick. For falsehood. Then we'll go back. You got to pull it up. Okay. Yeah, my computer's moving super slow. That word falsehoods. It says lie, deception, disappointment, falsehood. Priest, you can speak. Go ahead, bro.
Slocky, sneeze. Yeah, so this says lie, deception, disappointment, falsehood, because Esau is trying to, put forth this whole idea of, this technological advancement, AI and everything, as the next step in human advancement. But the whole thing of what's coming out is this AI is about to be, the new police force, the new, pretty much, God on the earth, man. And you people are going to be slaves unto it, because there's been talks of pretty much with the technology being able to do everything. It's not going to be any more use for humans. That Bill Gates said that on, I believe it was Jimmy Kimmel, one of them late night talk show hosts or whatever. And they said that, it's not going to be any use for humans no more, because AI is pretty much going to take over everything. So these people, though it looks cool, you're able to use the AI to make pictures and videos and all this. It's really it's a military weapon that's putting you people in a snare, man.
So here's another point that we was making. Here's another one that says AI generated videos of ice raids are wildly viral on Facebook. So it's a lot of material on the internet is AI generated, man. But you got to be able to sift through it. Many people are going to be taken through the deception, as we just talked about, man.
Yeah, because I can add, because here it is, it's fun and games right now, because what we're seeing the sword being used for is, you see videos of Martin Luther King doing all type of nigga shit, Kobe, and it's all fun right now, but stuff like what you're showing on the screen is making it to where you can't tell what's real or fake no more. Like I saw a video earlier today. It was a college basketball player being arrested during the game, being let out and saying he got in trouble for sports betting. Yeah. Now it looked real as hell, so I'm trying to Google it to see if it was real, and it ended up being AI, but just showing you like this, it's getting bad out here, man. So how much more when they start using this to start framing people, man?
That's it, man. Yeah, that's why as he's going into the AI Armageddon is already here. The AI, and we talked about this before, is going to be the downfall of this society, man. Okay, look at all of this content. But anyway, let's go back. Right.
If I could add, it's one more thing I wanted to say with that, because it's a page it's on YouTube and Instagram where it's this dude. He'll go up to certain people and they'll have a picture of him. He'll be like, "Is this you?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." And then he'll show them doing something that, like, it was a couple I saw. The dude was supposedly, cheating on his wife with another woman, but he didn't do it. So all they needed was a picture of him, and they could use the AI to make them do stuff they didn't do, and it looked real. So this is what we said with the AI Armageddon is here, because now the lines are blurred between what's real and what's not. You can't tell the difference anymore, man.
There you go. I just want to read this paragraph real quick. It says the account started experimenting with extremely crude AI-generated deportation videos in February, which included videos of immigrants handcuffed on the tarmac outside of deportation planes, where their arms randomly detached from their body, or where people suddenly disappeared or vanished through stairs, for example. Recent videos are far more realistic. All right. It says none of the videos have an AI watermark on them, but the type and style of video changed dramatically, starting with the videos posted on October 1st, which is the day after OpenAI Sora 2 was released. Around that time is when the account started posting videos featuring identifiable stores and restaurants, which have become a common trope in Sora 2 videos. Yeah, man. So you got it. You just got to be careful. You got to be circumspect, man, because the days are evil. Okay. This is hardcore stuff.
I got a quick precept.
You got it, bro. Pull it out.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices." So we already understood the moment we started seeing this AI, take over the internet, what was going to happen. Like the brother on the comment board, I'm butcher the brother's name, Matazal Lacum, he said these devils are going to use this technology to come against the believers in Yahweh Shai to charge us with fault.
Exactly.
Because we understood from the jump that this AI was a military weapon. Yeah. They let the public play with it so that it seems harmless. But like I said, you see all the folly being put out on the internet, but videos like this, amongst others, are being put on the internet, and you can't be thirsty just to jump on something just because you see it. You know, you got a lot of these Israelite, guys on social media that be, hungry to put content out there and not even fact checking. So we're at a time now where we definitely got to be on point in what we're looking up, man.
That's it. Definitely got to be on point. Yep. Shalom. He says they will definitely use it. This is part of Daniel's 12:1. Exactly, man. It's gonna be a time like no other, man, because he's known as the accuser of the brethren, man. So he's gonna trump up them charges. He's gonna have the immaculate, picture, video to frame a believer, to frame a brother, to get the whole world to to buy into it.
Yep.
We see it, like you said. Hey, we knew once this technology was first introduced that it was going to be used for nefarious purposes, man. Bottom line. All right, so let's go back.
To our attempt to have some sort of a shared reality, right? So you have all these problems. Of course, the problem with income and wealth inequality, and the rich getting richer and everybody else getting poorer, and like I said, everybody losing their job. So I think everybody understands on some level this shit is a problem. But our government is bought by the AI tech oligarchs, by the billionaire robber barons, and so they are effectively getting their way across the board. So take a look at this. Again, More Perfect Union says, House Republican leaders are trying to ban all regulation of AI at the state level. The GOP is trying to sneak legislation into a bigger bill that would preempt state laws around the regulation of AI and create a national environment with very little regulation of the technology. So they tried to do this. I don't know if you guys remember, but when the big bullshit bill passed, they tried to sneak this in there. Now, it didn't make the final cut, thank God. But they're trying to do it again. And the reason they're so committed is because, as I said, they are all paid off. They are all bought by the big AI companies. And let me point out, too, let's not forget, this is like the entire economy now. The entire economy is this massive AI bubble. And so what do you do when the bubble is 17 times bigger than the internet bubble before that burst? What do you do when it's 4 times bigger than the subprime mortgage bubble before that burst? We're looking at a lot of pain.
Bear with me. All right. But what he's talking about is essentially the system, man. Okay.
Pain on the way too. A lot of pain on the way. So they're trying to sneak this in there. And think about how extreme it is. They're saying no regulation at all of AI. Not like, hey, we don't like this specific one. They're saying we are trying to ban anybody from regulating it at all. I mean,
Shalakia.
What? I mean, that is basically suicidal. It is suicidal at this point to say something.
Grab one scripture, right? Just thinking out loud. Hey, get Isaiah 10:1 out.
Yep. This is the book of
I'll
Isaiah.
as well.
Okay. It's Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed."
Yeah. So you talking about no regulation of AI, right? And pretty much on how these government officials are bought and paid for by these technocrats, man, which is going to result in no rights. Okay, no constitutional laws enforced, because things are headed towards draconian measures, man. Okay, this is what it's about. Remember, you'll own nothing and be happy, man. Okay, the society that we're coming into is a how you say the word authoritarianism. All right, authoritarianism, man. A dystopia. Okay, this is where society, this is the direction society is headed. This is why these things are happening, man. Okay.
Yep. So if I can add, that's what we saw in that movie Minority Report. Because if there's not going to be any regulation on AI, that means if this is going to be like what they said, Palantir, and I forgot the other one. I think it was Gideon or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be like a pre-crime, totalitarianism. It's supposed to be like a pre-crime system. They can trump up some bullshit on somebody just because, and then now you become an enemy of the state for no reason. And that, all it took was the AI to make up something about you, and now you're through.
That's it. He who frame his mischief by law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back. It said that I lost my my audio. Bear with me 1 second. Let me pull it back in. Precepts coming out. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.
We'll get back to a computer. It's loaded. All right. The water for your patience. All right, let's go back and play some more. Is it on the screen out? You see it?
Yep, it's on here.
Okay.
Like that. So here we go. 60 Minutes says AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10% to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years, predicts Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei. So stop and think about that. In the past, we've had basically blue-collar jobs get shipped away. Usually it was more outsourcing and globalization and free trade. That was the culprit. But you had like the big car companies, they would ship the jobs overseas, and people here who had good union paying jobs, those went away. And that led to, the Rust Belt struggling massively, led to the, manufacturing jobs in this country declining rapidly. And so that was with blue collar jobs. Now the AI apocalypse is coming also for white collar jobs. Remember, as we listen to this, I told you guys, Crystal read a book. I'm blanking on the name of it now, but she read a book where the guy argued revolutions happen when you also have widespread pain and unemployment and hurt among the white collar crowd, among the elites. So you need like mass unemployment among elites. That's when, it's not just when like the working class sort of goes under and is struggling. It's like working class hurts plus elites are hurting. And that basically, this is the perfect fucking recipe for that. So here we go.
You've said AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years.
Yes,
That's shocking.
that is the future we could see if we don't become aware of this problem now.
Half of all entry-level white-collar jobs.
Well, if we look at entry-level consultants, lawyers, financial professionals, many of kind of the white-collar service industries, a lot of what they do, AI models are already quite good at, and without intervention. It's hard to imagine that there won't be some significant job impact there. And my worry is that it'll be broad and it'll be faster than what we've seen with previous technology.
When you do this to a society, the society will react. There will be a colossal backlash. You can't just casually destroy the livelihoods of millions of people and act like that's okay. You can't do that. I mean,
Yeah, this is why evils and only evils are coming. I want to add something else to this this AI Armageddon, right? As well. Can you hold Ezekiel 7 out? Just want to add something real quick that's going to contribute to the madness, if you will, right? This came out today earlier. It says winter blackout risks soars as AI electricity demand outpaces grid capacity, NERC finds. All right, because the way this AI is evolving and the energy demand that it takes, it has the potential to knock out the power grid because it's just too much. The data centers, as he was talking about, all that stuff requires huge amounts of electricity and power to operate, man. So they're saying that by this shit, expanding and increasing as it is, it can knock the system out, man. You see? And it's only updating and upgrading, man. You see what I'm saying? Like this AI is getting better and faster and faster. So hey, this is a potential scenario. You got that out?
Yep. You want to start at the top?
Start at 5 and read down a little bit. Yeah, start at 5 and read down to 12. And we'll go back.
This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come.
Yeah, so what's being broken down and detailed to you is the end. Okay, this AI, this beast infrastructure is going to contribute to bringing the end of Babylon fast. Okay, no jobs. Okay, blackouts, famines, all these things that's going to tie into bringing the system, the economy down, man. That's going to resort in what? Mass death, riots, sedition. Okay, keep going.
Right, if I can add, because like the brother said, it's all about martial law and implementation of the MOTB.
There you
because
go.
everything that's that we see taking place, all right, it's a domino effect to bring in this new system. So ChatGPT AI is pretty much taking all the jobs to where the people ain't gonna have work, which is going to bring in that universal basic income. They're bringing in the digital ID that have everybody onboarded to the system. They're talking about making people wear wearables and all that. Everything that you're seeing is to put people in the system, so that way the end all be all thing that they got to do is just implement that chip, so that everybody can be on and in the system, and that's the wrap. They got you in the trap, man.
Got you.
So continuing on, verse 7, it says, "The morning is come unto thee, O that dwelleth in the land. The time is come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains."
Yeah. So we'll stop right there, because I want to get back to, it's a lot of stuff. But it said that the morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land, the time is come, right? The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. So this is part of that, man. The day of trouble is near. All hell is going to break loose behind this artificial intelligence, man. This has, as they presented this thing to be some type of upgrade to society, some benefit to mankind, is actually going to be a disaster. Because now it's self-replicating, it's thinking for itself, it's speaking in the code that the people who created it can't understand. You see what I'm saying? This is some real Terminator shit that's going on, man.
Yep.
You know, this is not no science fiction. You know, so let's go back. Unless you had anything you want to add, Doc.
Nah, that was it.
Okay.
I mean, look, if you want to talk about if we used this kind of technology to actually usher in socialism, that would be different, right? If we use this technology and everybody had an AI robot machine assigned to them, and all the work that robot machine, all the profits of that goes to you, and you can take all your time to like live your life as you want and try to be creative and try to do art and try to write a novel and try to, you know, do whatever you want with your time, that would be fine. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world where, you know, the top 1% has all of the fucking money, has all of the fucking power, and they're not going to give that up. They're not going to make it so that, oh, let's equitably distribute the fruits of the labor of AI. No, they're going to say, go fuck yourself. You're on your own. Sorry, did you lose your job? Did you lose your whole profession? Tough cookies. Suck it up. So think about it. These same billionaires and Republicans, they cut the social safety net completely, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. They basically want to fucking get rid of those. They kicked 17 million people off their Medicaid. They're doubling, tripling, and quadrupling your healthcare prices, your healthcare premiums, I should say. They cut food stamps. At the same time, they cut 94 million pounds going to food banks. So if you get rid of the social safety net and then you come in and take away the jobs, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You're leaving people no choice. We have very high rates of mental illness in this country, and we have very high rates of people being armed. It is a perfect fucking stew.
Said before, you know, they're purposely pushing the people to the edge, man. Okay, they need people to crash out. That's what's going to institute martial law. That's what they need. So they're going to continue to squeeze these people, so they have nothing left but to fight back, man. Right?
Man.
Look at this unusual.
Yeah, some out, Slovakia.
No, you got it.
Okay, gotcha.
Wells points out, content produced by AI is now appearing on the internet in greater volume than content created by humans per Axios. Okay, this should be illegal. Dead internet theory is becoming more and more real by the day. So now, you know, if you guys are watching this and one of you has engaged in a Twitter fight within the past week or month or so, like you're, you know, arguing back and forth with somebody, there is a greater than 50% chance you were arguing with a bot, like a literal bot.
Yeah, and that's heavy, man. Hey, these damn scoffers. You know, a lot of that shit could be chat bots, man. You know?
Right.
You got it, please. Go ahead.
No, I have that
Yeah, I
yet.
thought was you bringing out a scripture, Slovakia?
Nah, it's lagging a little bit, but I'm just listening.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Slovakia about that is, you know, fucking computer, man. All right. Let's see. Hold on.
On YouTube's what I do, right? I'm not kidding when I say I have stumbled across channels. A video was recommended to me. I'd watch it, and I thought, oh, this is a pretty good video. I'll subscribe to this channel. And then, you know, I get recommended another video. I watch it. Eventually, I catch on to, hold on, this is a totally AI generated channel. Like, this is totally, you know, the voices change from video to video. It'll be like a guy with an Irish accent in one video. It'll be somebody with a different kind of accent in the next video. It's very clearly like a script that was written by AI. And think of the implications of that too. Like, are we going to have it so that 90% of the content on fucking YouTube is AI generated now? We're all supposed to be okay with that. This is a war on human creativity. This is a war on freedom and liberty and sovereignty and what makes us special. We're trying to create God in a computer, and that God is fucking replacing us in real time, and nobody's batting an eyelash. Nobody fucking cares. That is crazy. That is crazy. We need to freeze AI. Ban all this shit. Ban the fucking bots. Ban the machines taking over the internet. But we need a complete freeze on development of AI right this second. But they would never do that. They would never do that because the politicians are bought by these same companies. And all of our economic growth is built on betting that AI is going to explode and solve all our problems or some dumb shit. Meanwhile, it's creating way more problems than it's fucking solving. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you could watch the rest of that. All right. But the point he was making is that, this AI is, they're putting this system, this AI in the position of God. And that's what I want to tie in a second here. I got another video that I want to pull from Tucker Carlson. All right. He had interviewed Sam Altman, right? And we'll come play this video in a second. But Priest, you there? Okay. We'll play this video in a second. This video is from Tucker Carlson Network, Sam Altman's dystopian vision to replace God with AI. Right. So this is what he was saying. But before we read that, I do want to grab a little bit back in this article about the ministers of thought. All right. Because as I said earlier, now these technocrats, these left-hand priests are now the authority of how people think. Okay. And how you move throughout society. Right. I just want to read a few points. And if you got any scriptures you hold, let me know.
I got that chat GPT with the Chaldeans and technocrats whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah. We'll pull that up right after this. Okay. So I'm gonna just get to the point here. Let's jump down. So it says, and I'll make it bigger. It says at the time, his 5-year-old social network was shaping the identities of more than 350 million people. Like Sergey Brin and Larry Page with their mission to, quote, organize the world's information with Google. Like Steve Jobs, when he put the internet in our pockets, Zuckerberg was becoming something of what the world's minister of thought, something of the world's new minister of thought, influencing how humans conceive of themselves and one another as they communicated at an unprecedented scale. All right, so it's talking about just the upgrade of technology or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So jumping down, it says ChatGPT was just 3 years old, has more than 800 million weekly users, at least 40 times Facebook's audience 3 years in. OpenAI is now the most valuable private company worldwide. 10% of the world's adults used its flagship chatbots on a monthly basis for writing emails, scouring the web, planning trips, decoding medical mysteries, or finding love. All right. It says, and that's the society today. It says, what Zuck taught us to post, Altman teaches us to prompt. If the past 20 years were about curating who we are, the next may be about creating who we want to be. See? Let's just jump down a little bit more. We'll grab some scripts, right? There was a point about we made mention about merging man machine. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So he says here, quote, in the age of social media, we curated our identity for the computer. In the age of AI, the computer is starting to curate our identity for us. See that? And these are all those transhumanist talking points, right? Mm-hmm. By trying to tie you into machine. And let's see if there's anything else. You can read the rest of this on your own. It's a long article. All right. But you get the point, man. These technocrats, again, okay, are now the leaders of society. Okay. And Priest, you got that list pulled up. You want to show it?
Con, I wanted to make a point real quick though, because what they're not telling people with this AI is they're trying to make it seem like this technology thinks on its own. This all AI is doing is just regurgitating things from the internet, back at people. So it's not really even something that is come making information up on its own. So how they're pretty much conditioning everybody to pretty much, become accustomed to relying on this AI, they're essentially making people stupid. All this smart technology that Esau Edom is doing is just a tool to make people, low thinking, dumb creatures at the end of the day, man. A nation of slaves, ultimately, man, where you no longer have the ability to think for yourself.
God.
Add a precept real quick.
The AI is the God, the idol now.
Exactly.
You got it, bro.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It said, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that
Right.
day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." And that's what Esau is putting himself up as with this technology, because this is him manufacturing his own version of his angels and all these different things, because he's trying to put himself in as God on the earth, as we're going to get into the next verse. It says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." So now he's trying to show himself that he's omnipotent, he's all seeing, all knowing.
Yeah.
He's everything. But as I said, it's all witchcraft at the end of the day, because this technology is nothing more than left hand satanic knowledge that he got from Satan, man.
Yep.
So I want to jump down to verse 8. Well, actually, I'll start at verse 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." And this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is allowing this technology to get to the point to where it's at, because he wants to a point to where it's to you. The lines are so blurred where you can't tell reality from fake anymore. We're so deep into the matrix now that these people really think that this is society now, man.
Sure.
People literally are going to Chat GPT, as if it's a person. That's why they said Chat GPT users are developing high levels of psychosis. And I looked that word up the other day. If I could pull that up real quick.
Yep.
That word psychosis, it means it's a mental state characterized by a loss of contact with reality, where a person experiences distorted thoughts, perception, and behavior. And that's essentially what Esau Edom's MOTB system is. It's a place to where you're disconnected from reality, which is why we see everything like today. Nobody really is having a true human experience anymore, man. It's all you're in a box, inside of a box, inside of another box. You're not connected with the earth anymore. Your nature is foreign now. You think fruits and vegetables come from stores instead of trees, so you don't know life for real, like the way the Lord created it, man. So it's all a big ass a lie.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the Lord wanted it that way.
Just add on to what you was talking about. You know what I'm saying? People are fully immersed in the AI, man. People are gone. But like you said, it's now people's connections is now it's artificial. Technology, social media, all right, biometrics. People got relationships with AI. People are worshiping AI idols, gods. People claim to be talking to JC. Just all a bunch of weird shit that's going. But this is the society that we're in now.
All right.
So let's go back.
Finishing it back. Thessalonians 2 and 8. Con. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And Esau is being devoured by the prophets.
Right.
And eventually he's going to be consumed by that fire from the Lord's chariot. But verse 9 says, "Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness." And that's exactly what this AI is setting these people up to do, is to be deceived to the point of overthrow, man, to where they're not going to be able to see the truth anymore, man.
Exactly. So let's go to from there. Let's go to the video with Sam Altman. That's pretty much the point. But now you get, as we were just explaining here, all right, these it is not just Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg. It's all of them, man. Peter Thiel. What's the other guy's name? Alex Karp.
Yep.
All them
Chinese
guys.
dude.
Yep. I forgot his name. It's all about these techno elitists being gods over you is the point, man. All right. And I saw this earlier just to show it, and then we'll get to the video. I got to pull it up here. Right. We're not going to read the article, but just solidifying what we're talking about. dailystar.co.uk. World could be ruled by trillionaires club of wealth elite boasting 12-0 fortunes. Right. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all them guys that you see in the forefront. Okay. Your trillionaires, your technocrats. These are the people that's going to be ruling. All right. Anyway, let's go to the video here. So this came out on 3 days ago. Sam Altman's dystopian vision to replace God with AI. Watch a little bit of that.
What are your spiritual views?
I'm Jewish, and I would say I have like a fairly traditional view of the world that way.
So you're religious. You believe in God?
I'm not like a literal. I'm not like a literalist on the Bible, but I'm not someone who says like I'm culturally Jewish. Like if you ask me, I would just say I'm Jewish.
But do you believe in
Yeah,
God?
like I said earlier, isn't it heavy how the Lord said we would have war with Amalek from generation to generation?
Yep.
And who are most of these technocrats consist of? These tiny hats, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? And he can't even answer a straight question. Do they believe in the, do they believe in the Most High? Because hey, the spirit is not in them too, right? And get that in Job real quick. Job 21. What is it? If we pray to the Most High, roughly paraphrasing, you know what I'm talking about? Job 21 and
Right here.
14. You got it? Let me pull it up too. Bear with me. These niggas, they run everything. Is it a coincidence? Let me pull it up. My computer's slow. Bear with me. Come on now. Let's go.
I still got that ChatGPT after this too.
Yeah. Just let me know. We'll bring it out. Hold on 1 second. Is it in the screen? Job 21 and let's start at 14. Yep, down to 16.
Job 21 and 14. Therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways.
That's right.
What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him?
Yeah, so this is proof that these Edomites, they lack the spirit. They don't belong to the Most High, man. As he was saying, as he's dancing around, and he can't answer the question straightforward, man, because the spirit of the Lord is not with them. You got it, Doc.
You want to keep reading?
Yeah, down to 16.
It says, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me.
Yeah, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me, man, because everything that this man is doing with this left hand, all right, is nothing good. It's nothing beneficial to humanity. Okay, it's all about oppression. Okay, it's all about destruction. So the counsel of the wicked is far from the Most High, man. Let's go back.
I got a quick precept to add to that.
Yep.
Psalm chapter 10. Let's start at verse 3.
It's a good one.
It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. Because that's all we're seeing is these technocrats boasting about how they're about to, rule the world through this AI, building this artificial infrastructure, reshaping the world in their image,
That's right.
It says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not in all his thoughts. That's why, like you said, when these Edomites, get asked about God, man, they can't really give you a straightforward answer because their God is ultimately, Satan. All right, but they'll mask it under the guise of technology, but we understand that they all work for Satan at the end of the day, man.
Exactly.
Exactly. Verse 5. His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That was the point.
Yeah, that's the point. You want to pull your list up before we go back to the vid?
Yeah, I can. Let me share my screen real quick.
Yep. And we'll go back to it. And like I said, we're trying not to be all over the place, but it's a lot of stuff. We just want to show you how it's all, you know, coming together, right? Let me get out of this one. All right, you got it out.
God. This is I asked the chat, are these technocrats considered the modern day Chaldeans? And it says that's a deep and thought-provoking question. To answer whether modern technocrats can be considered the modern day Chaldeans, let's break this down spiritually, historically, and biblically. It says, who are the Chaldeans in the Bible? Ethnically and historically, the Chaldeans were a Semitic people in southern Babylonia, modern day Iraq. They gained dominance during the Neo-Babylonian Empire, especially under Nebuchadnezzar II. Known for their astrology, mathematics, sorcery, and wisdom traditions, they were the intellectual class of Babylon. Spiritually, the Chaldeans were not just a people group. They symbolized Babylonian world system, sorcery, idolatry, and rebellion against the Most High. And that's what we're seeing these devils do today. Which shows you that they have to be the modern day Chaldeans.
Yeah, it said the intellectual class of Babylon. That's them.
Yep.
You know, you got it.
It says Isaiah and Habakkuk describe them as bitter, proud, swift, and devouring nations used by the Most High to judge Israel, but eventually destined for destruction. It says in Daniel, the Chaldeans were astrologers, magicians, and wise men, the elite class advising the king. And that's what you brought up earlier. You know, these technocrats, they're looked at as the new ministers of thought because they're like the prophets, all right, of the left hand that Esau, Edom, the elites, they put out there in the forefront because we know we're not going to see them directly. So they got them out there as the face, you know, advising the people on how the world's, you know, thought patterns are going to go in that day or in that time. Exactly. So comparing it, it says, who are the modern technocrats? It says technocrats are elites who control society through technological and scientific expertise. They often operate through AI development, digital surveillance, medical and genetic technology, economic modeling, CBDC, social credit systems. They influence or override political, religious, and cultural leadership, pushing for a technocratic global order, which is what's going on right now. So now it gives the spiritual parallels of how these two are the same and how we see that being taking place today. So it says the similarities of the Chaldeans and technocrats. They were magicians, astrologers, sorcerers. The technocrats are data scientists, AI engineers, bioengineers. They controlled empires like Babylon. Technocrats influence, control governments and global systems. The Chaldeans opposed the Most High's servants, Daniel and Ezekiel. The technocrats today push anti-God agendas, transhumanism, depopulation, moral decay. Chaldeans practice occult knowledge. Technocrats linked to New Age, Luciferianism, secret societies, or what you can call the New Age, the New Age of Enlightenment. Yep. Because when Esau, Edom came back into power during the Renaissance era, you had at that point in time what they called the Age of Enlightenment back then, where pretty much the science began to overtake the thought of the Bible. You know, so this is what's happening all over again, but it's a technological twist to it this time.
Yeah, exactly. This is where we at now, man.
Yep.
Right. Any more you want to read out of there before we go back?
No, that was it. That was the point.
Yeah, but hey, we there, man. So it's beautiful how these things, you know, are coming to pass. You know, and I wanted to tie. Let me go share my screen again. Not to be long-winded, but let me go back. Bear with me. Pull these tabs back up. Okay. So the point I was making, I just lost my point, Salakia, doing all this damn tab moving. Salakia. I do want to tie in, you know, Revelation 13 and 15 about the image of the beast. And I had something here. We'll get to it, but we can just read it real quick, you know. And bear with me. Where we at? It is. So yeah. So this system, you know, that's being established right now is the same system that was adopted from China. Now, and we're gonna come to this after the video, but it says that China's surveillance state brought to you by American companies in the US government, right? And it talked about how also this very system got an upgrade. Where's that at? Bear with me. Did I lose that tab? Hold on. It was something about an upgrade to the system. Let me pull that up and then we'll go back. Where are we at? And Bruce, you can speak while I find it, Salaki. It's just so many different tabs.
Because hey, Esau had said, going back to Klaus Schwab at the WEF, that China pretty much was a model that they wanted the world to follow after. And we see in China, they already got, the whole social credit system and everything set up. So
right,
we're already, we're here, but it's just taking, it's taking a while for it to pretty much become worldwide. So as we're seeing, it's like domino effects of different countries slowly buying into this system. So the people don't really grasp it all the way now because it's not hitting America's shores right yet, but it's coming. And what we're seeing Trump do, the moment that Trump got elected and we saw his cabinet be full of all these technocrats, we already knew where this was going. So what we're seeing today is already just letting us know that it's up.
Yeah. The image is speaking, man. So this is it right here. And we'll come to this after the video. It says Palantir and NVIDIA team up to give the globalist surveillance state a huge upgrade. All right. So they're being equipped with everything they need to fully establish this technocracy system. Right. But anyway, let's finish this off. We'll come back to it. Here we go.
Like, do you believe that there is a force larger than people that created people? What are your spiritual views?
I'm Jewish, and I would say I have like a fairly traditional view of the world that way.
So you're religious. You believe in God?
I'm not like a literal. I'm not like a literalist on the Bible, but I'm not someone who says like I'm culturally Jewish. Like if you ask me, I would just say I'm Jewish.
But do you believe in God? Like, do you believe that there is a force larger than people that created the earth, set down a specific order for living, that there's an absolute morality attached that comes from that God?
I think probably like most other people, I'm somewhat confused on this, but I believe there is something bigger going on than, can be explained by physics, yes.
So you think the earth and the people were created by something? It wasn't just like a spontaneous accident?
Would I say that? It does not feel like a spontaneous accident, yeah. I don't think I have the answer. I don't think I know like exactly what happened, but I think there is a...
And remember, these are the people that are going to be ruling over you, man.
Right.
History beyond my comprehension here going on.
Have you ever felt communication from that force or from any force beyond people, beyond the material?
No, not really.
I ask because it seems like the technology that you're creating or shepherding into existence will have more power than people. On this current trajectory, I mean, that will happen. Who knows what will actually happen, but like the graph suggests it. And so that would give you, more power than any living person. So I'm just wondering how you see that.
I used to worry about something like that much more. I think what will happen, I used to worry a lot about the concentration of power in one or a handful of people or companies.
Check this out, man. Amalek is going to have full power. The irony, right? Hey, get that scripture in Exodus. Generation. Here we are again.
Hey, they always find their way in that seat, right?
Yeah, they always do.
This is Exodus chapter 17 and 16. For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
There you go. So now the world we're in this spiritual war with him all over again. Okay? This man and many others like him will have full power through this artificial intelligence, this system. There you go.
Because of AI.
Yeah.
what it looks like to me now, and again, this may evolve again over time, is that it'll be a huge up-leveling of people where everybody will be a lot more powerful, or everybody that embraces the technology will be a lot more powerful. But that's actually okay. That scares me much less than a small number of people getting a ton more power. If the kind of like ability of each of us just goes up a lot because we're using this technology and we're able to be more productive and more creative or discover new science, and it's a pretty broadly distributed thing, like billions of people are using it, that I can wrap my head around. That feels okay.
So you don't think this will result in a radical concentration of power?
It looks like not, but again, the trajectory could shift again and we'd have to adapt. I used to be very worried about that. And I think the kind of conception a lot of us in the field had about how this might go could have led to a world like that. But what's happening now is tons of people use ChatGPT and other chatbots, and they're all more capable. They're all kind of doing more. They're all...
Hey, man, this man is a damn liar, man. Let me just get something real quick. This is the true Edomite.
Right.
Damn tiny top, man. They know exactly how this shit's gonna play out, man. You know, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We just read that 2 Corinthians 2:11, right?
Yep.
This is Psalms 58 in verse 2. Psalm 58 and 2, it says, "Yea, in heart you work wickedness." This is what these devils do, man. What's the goal? What's the enterprise, man? All right, digital imprisonment, man. Okay, all of your movements throughout your life are tracked. What's going on inside your body is being monitored. Okay, that's wickedness, man. Yea, in your heart you work wickedness. Yea, weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. This man's responsible for everything that's going wrong on the planet, man. Destruction, wars, plagues, famines. Okay, the wicked wines and decrees that are being pushed. All right, that are outside the standard of the Most High. He's responsible for that. Verse 3, it says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." And that damn Sam Altman is a damn lie. He knows exactly what's going to come from this, man. Okay, these Edomites are wicked from birth. Okay,
God.
as soon as they're born, speaking lies. You got it, priest.
The spirit, the brother Bayon Yashwala, I put the precept I was holding, Sirach 14 and 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. And that's what you just said. You know, he's lying with the whole aspect of trying to make people think that it's good intentions of what this AI is bringing, but we know at the end, like you said, it's all leading to that digital slavery.
There you go.
You know, able to achieve more, start new businesses, come up with new knowledge. And that feels pretty good.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing small.
That pass.
If it's nothing more than a machine and just the product of its inputs, then the two obvious questions, like what are the inputs? Like what's the moral framework that's been put into the technology? Like what is right or wrong according to ChatGPT?
Give me an answer to that one first.
I would.
Question.
Yeah.
So on that one, someone said something early on in ChatGPT when that really has stuck with me, which is one person at a lunch table said something like, you know, we're trying to train this to be like a human, like we're trying to learn like a human does and read these books and whatever. And then another person said, no, we're really like training this to be like the collective of all of humanity. We're reading everything. You know, we're trying to learn everything. We're trying to see all these perspectives. And
yeah. Remember that the AI, the ChatGPT, all of that, that's like the angels. The surveillance is the angels on the left-hand side, you know, reporting everything, seeing everything, knowing everything, you know, this is what he's talking about, you know.
And if we do our job right, all of humanity, good, bad, very diverse set of perspectives, some things that we'll feel really good about, some things that we'll feel bad about, that's all in there. Like this is learning the kind of collective experience, knowledge, learnings of humanity. Now, the base model gets trained that way, but then we do have to align it to behave one way or another and just say, you know, I will answer this question, I won't answer this question. And we have this thing called the model spec where we try to say, here are the rules we'd like the model to follow. It may screw up, but you can at least tell if it's doing something you don't like. Is that a bug or is that intended? And we have a debate process with the world to get input on that spec. We give people a lot of freedom and customization within that. There are, absolute bounds that we draw, but then there's a default of, if you don't say anything, how should the model behave? What should it do? How should it answer moral questions? How should it refuse to do something? What should it do? And this is a really hard problem. That we have a lot of users now, and they come from very different life perspectives and what they want. But on the whole, I have been pleasantly surprised with the model's ability to learn and apply a moral framework.
But what moral framework? I mean, the sum total of like world literature or philosophy is at war with itself. Like the Marquis de Sade is, like nothing in common with the Gospel of John.
Right.
So like, how do you decide which is superior?
That's why we wrote this like model spec of here's how we're going to handle these cases.
Right. But what criteria did you use to decide what the model is?
Like
who decided that? Who did you consult? Like why is the Gospel of John better than the Marquis de Sade?
His own mind. Devil himself.
Right.
Hey, so like we said, it's all about rewriting man in his own image, man. Everything's out of his corrupt mind, man.
We consulted like hundreds of moral philosophers, people who thought about like ethics of technology and systems. And at the end, we had to like make some decisions. The reason we try to write these down is because A, we won't get everything right. B, we need the input of the world. And we have found a lot of cases where there was an example of something that seemed to us like, a fairly clear decision of what to allow or not to allow, where users convinced us like, hey, by blocking this thing that you think is an easy decision to make, you are not allowing this other thing, which is important. And there's like a difficult trade-off there. In general, the attention so a principle that I normally like is to treat our adult users like adults, very strong guarantees on privacy, very strong guarantees on individual user freedom. And this is a tool we are building. You get to use it within very broad framework. Within a very, very broad framework. On the other hand, as this technology becomes more and more powerful, there are clear examples of where society has an interest that is in significant tension with user freedom. And we could start with an obvious one, like, should ChatGPT teach you how to make a bioweapon? Now, you might say, hey, I'm just really interested in biology and I'm a biologist and I want to, I'm not going to do anything bad with this. I just want to learn. And I could go read a bunch of books, but ChatGPT.
You see what I'm saying? This is madness, man. None of this is going to be used with good intent. This is what we're trying to tell y'all. This, as we saw the video earlier, the AI apocalypse is here, man. All right. Sure. Their vision is to replace the Most High with AI, and they're doing it. They're attempting to do it. I'll play a little bit more, and then we'll get to the next point, and we'll wrap this up. But because I didn't want it to be too long. But you got a precept you want to bring out? I'll play a little bit more.
Yeah, just showing that this is all witchcraft. One of the brothers had put that in the comment board earlier. Let me go back to it.
Got you. He said he's deflecting again. Yeah, he is.
He is, bro. That's because I think this is the same interview that Tucker Carlson asked him, because he mentioned that somebody had died from his company, and he couldn't answer the question. So that dude was a demon. The scripture about the science falsely so-called, it's in Timothy. That's what I'm looking for. I'll pull up on my phone. I don't see it in the comment board now. But 1 Timothy 6:20, it says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so-called," because we're at a point to where this technology, people put this over the Most High. Like you said, they got AI pastors and everything else to where this technology, if it was used for righteousness, could be a aid. But Esau, he can't create nothing for good because it's impossible for him to do good. So this witchcraft is ultimately conditioning the people to look towards him and his technology versus praying to the Most High through his Son.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'm a whole Revelation 13 on deck too. We're gonna go there. Let's play a couple more minutes of this, and then we'll let the viewers could watch the rest of this on their own. Let's play a little bit more, and we'll go on to finish this out.
GPT can teach me faster, and I want to learn how to, I want to learn about like novel virus synthesis or whatever. And maybe you do. Maybe you really don't want to like cause any harm. But I don't think it's in society's interest for ChatGPT to help people build bioweapons. And so that's a case.
Sure. That's an easy one, though. There are a lot of tougher ones.
I did say start with an easy one.
Yeah. Well, every decision is ultimately a moral decision.
I want to make a point and show you that he's lying, because you've seen reports of ChatGPT telling people to kill themselves, to kill their significant others, and do crimes. So that's all bullshit. What he talking about, man?
Right. The master deflector, man. These people are cunning, man.
Right.
Very crafty.
And we make them without even recognizing them as such. And this technology will be, in effect, making them for us.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I don't agree with it'll be making them for us, but it will have to.
It'll be influencing the decisions for sure. And because it'll be embedded in daily life. And so who made these decisions? Like who are the people who decided that one thing is better than another?
Right.
You mean like,
what are their names?
Which kind of decision?
The basic specs that you alluded to that create the framework that does attach a moral weight.
Yeah, who made you niggas gods over society? Right? Who gave you the power, basically?
And we know the answer to that.
To
it's the people that
views and decisions, like
AI is funded by Amalek.
Yep. There you go.
Liberal democracy is better than Nazism or whatever. They seem obvious, and in my view are obvious, but are still moral decisions. So who made those calls?
As a matter of principle, I don't like dox our team, but we have a model behavior team, and the people who want to.
Well, it affects the world.
What I was going to say is the person I think you should hold accountable for those calls is me. Like I'm a public face. Eventually, like I'm the one that can overrule one of those decisions or our board.
And I just turned 40 this spring.
I won't make every.
It's pretty heavy. I mean, do you think and it's not an attack, but I wonder if you recognize sort of the importance.
How do you think we're doing on it?
I'm not sure, but I think these decisions will have, global consequences that we may not recognize at first. And so I just wonder,
there's a lot.
Do you get into bed at night and think like the future of the world hangs on my judgment?
Look, I don't sleep that well at night. There's a lot of stuff that
There you go, man. So he Tucker Carlson got him in the corner. He's saying the right shit. He can't wiggle his way out of that shit, man. And these people are the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. All spearheaded by the tiny tops in everything, right? And you can watch the rest of that. It's about another 10 minutes or so. All right, but I want to make a point. Unless you have something real quick, Priest.
Yeah, the brother just put it on the comment board dealing with the theoretical magic. That's heavy because that's what he was doing. It says in theoretical magic, misdirection is a form of deception in which the performer draws audience attention to one thing to distract it from another. Managing audience attention is the aim of all theater and the foremost requirement of all magic acts. And that's what he was doing, because like you said, Tucker Carlson was pressing him with major questions that need answers, and he didn't give an answer to none of that shit. He was dancing around all those, man.
Yep.
If the people was really on point as far as paying attention to what's going on, that should be demanded to know who's the one that's directing these the answers to the what he was wanting. Who's the one that's justifying the answer that's coming from the chat GPT? Because it all goes back to the small hats, to the elites. And that's something he doesn't want the public to know.
Exactly. All coming out, man. The master of semantics, man. Right? This is the end has come, 9907. Bad scripture. You always bring this out when we do these lessons. They show one. It says 2 Ezra 9:20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it, man. That's a heavy scripture, man. And everything is surrounded behind this AI, this infrastructure, this technocracy, man. This is going to be the end of the world, man.
Yep.
Okay, this is his pseudo left-hand kingdom that he thinks that he's going to rule under by having humans completely merged with machine, right? While he rules over that, you know, it's crazy, man. And that's how you know our salvation is near and believe, because the output and how fast, you know, this technology is rapidly evolving is showing you that look, shit, time has got to be close, man, very close. All right.
That's what I add to you. That's why the scriptures say the Lord sped up the time for the elect's sake, because if he didn't, there'd be no flesh to be saved. Because if Esau is allowed to continue forward with this, man, hey, mankind will be through, man. These niggas will be dumb, fat, you know, slaves, and the Israelites will be gone because he'd be able to wipe us out with his robots and shit.
That's right. That's right. So let me go to the point. We'll wrap this up. But real quick, this is Job 5:12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty. Right? Who's the crafty? These Edomites, man. What are his devices? This AI, this system, the chip. Okay. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, man. So at the end of the day, the Most High is going to put an end to this man's system, this New World Order, this this technocracy that they're pushing. It's all going to be brought to naught. Right now, I want to go back to this article here and just tie that in with the Revelation 13. Okay. And then we're saying the other one, Shalakia, this one right here. So anyway, Revelation, this is from discernreport.com. It says Palantir and NVIDIA team up to give the globalist surveillance state a huge upgrade. It says the merger between chip titan and NVIDIA and the data mining powerhouse Palantir represents far more than a business partnership. It's the next great leap forward for the global surveillance architecture and digital nervous system, right? Capable of tracking, predicting, and influencing nearly every aspect of modern life. That's the beast, right? And their latest endeavor is a harbinger, right? Let's jump down. It says Palantir, originally funded by the CIA Ventures arm, and In-Q-Tel built its empire on data fusion. Its software underpins intelligence gathering from the Pentagon, the NSA, and numerous law enforcement agencies worldwide. Real quick, this is why I had this pulled up as well, right? We're not going to read through it. I just want to show you the title. Okay, this is why ICE has been equipped with this Palantir technology, right? Here's one article here. You can't refuse to be scanned by ICE's facial recognition app, DHS document says. So there's a whole news article going into that. All right, how you can't bypass that. Here's that other point from the guy Alex Karp, right? Another one of those technocrats, right? It says Alex Karp goes to war. Palantir's CEO is good with ICE and says he defends human rights. But will Israel and Trump ever go too far for him? See that? So he's got, when you read through it, ICE is fully equipped with all of this, super updated technology, facial scans, seeing through walls, every goddamn thing, man. Mm-hmm. Right? So let's go back. Okay. Let's go back. So it says its software underpins intelligence gathering for the Pentagon, the NSA, and numerous law enforcement agencies worldwide. NVIDIA, meanwhile, holds the keys to the computational horsepower that makes AI possible. Together, they're creating what could be described as a living digital organism. Check that out. That's a way of words right there, right?
Right.
It says a constantly learning, constantly adapting system with the ability to analyze and act upon vast streams of information in real time. Man, this thing is alive and it's living, man. Mm-hmm. Okay. Last two paragraphs. It says, according to the joint announcement at NVIDIA's GTC conference in Washington, D.C., the partnership aims to, quote, accelerate and optimize complex enterprise and government systems. Woo, man, did we just not read that in Job 5? You know, right? So their hands cannot perform their enterprise. You know, this is it. All right, back in the read. It says, that may sound benign until you realize what, quote, enterprise and government systems actually entail. These are the networks that manage critical infrastructure, financial markets, healthcare databases, military logistics, and even transportation control systems. There you go. That's the system we're talking about. All right. That's the technocratic system here, man. Okay. And we ain't even got to read the rest. All right. You get it. So let me go to my point before we wrap this up. Let's read Revelation 13 and we'll grab it in the chat that I have pulled up here. So let me pull that up. Revelation 13, and we'll get straight to it. You can just start at verse 12 and we'll read down to 15. Baba Kushah.
Yep. Right. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him.
Yeah, which is the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire, the first beast before him. Go ahead.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Yeah. And this is where we're at now. Okay. The that ancient Roman Empire system now in a more modernized version in the form of this technology. You know, keep going.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Yeah, when he first, he dropped the atomic bomb, right? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, right? And even also that ties into those great wonders is this technology, man.
Right.
As we were going through in the sermon, the AI, how everything is getting better. It's hard to detect if the photos or videos are real. You see what I'm saying? The AI has the ability to create, diseases and pestilence. That's all tied into his great wonders. That left-hand side, that sword. Go ahead.
Because if I could add, because this technology is being exposed, that he's been able to do this. Like you go into like events like the Panama Deception, they was using dew weapons back then. That you had the hologram technology. Because what coming to find out, those planes that supposedly hit the World Trade Center, that was a hologram, man.
Right.
To play off the bombs to blow up the two buildings. So Esau's technology has been able to fool the people for a time now, man, and it's only gotten better. We still got Project Bluebeam and a bunch of other stuff that they haven't unleashed yet. So it's just showing you that the great wonder this man is about to come with. He's about to deceive a lot of people.
Yeah, like it says in Revelation, was it 20 that he would deceive the nations? For that little season into that war between with Gog and Magog, which we're approaching that time now. Nuclear war, World War III, Russia, right? But he did that. He deceived the nations via the technology, his sorcery and witchcraft, man. That left hand. You got it.
Yep. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Yeah, those miracles, the technology, man, the sorcery, the witchcraft, man. Keep going.
It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah. So that image of the beast, this ancient Roman empire system, those Roman principles of government, technology, the economy, right? That's what's being implemented now, and it's speaking. All right, that this what this whole lesson was about. It was about this system, coming to pass and speaking now, man. Everything that we're leading into, the social credit scores, the surveillance, the full control via this digital enslavement. What do they call it? We're living in a what did it say in the article? They called it it was a word that they used. I forgot the word.
An
So
article
like,
we were just reading.
yeah, what we were just reading. It was a word that they used. They called the system a living, a digital. Yeah, here we go. As a living digital organism, man. Okay, this is it. Okay, this thing is alive. It's speaking. Right. Finish it out.
Verse 15 again, it says, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
There you go, man. So those that don't comply, that are not, in agreement with this system that's coming to pass, you're going to be cast out.
Yep.
And it's all leading to what? The MLTB eventually. All right. But this is the new technological Rome, if you will. Okay, because in ancient Rome, they branded their slaves, and how the modern day branding is going to consist through that chip, man, that digital all, where you're going to be a part of the what's it called, the Internet of Things. All right, you're going to be tracked. They're going to know exactly where you are, what's going on inside your body, everything, your thoughts, your dreams. He's going to be able to control your brain. It's all tied to that, man. Those are those lying wonders, those miracles, man. And as we read 2 Thessalonians, many are going to fall victim to that strong delusion, right? Yep. Now, my last point, unless you had anything, going into the chat GPT and just linking the NVIDIA and the Palantir, all right, with scriptures, right? So it says very interesting connection. Yes, you could definitely draw thematic parallels between Revelation 13 and 15 and related passages and modern developments like Palantir and NVIDIA AI partnership if you interpret prophecy through a technocratic / surveillance state's lens. Here's how one might connect them, plus additional relevant scriptures and some caveats, right? So the scripture we just read, Revelation 13 and 15, it says interpretations, connections to modern technology, interpretive connections to modern technology. The image of the beast speaking, some prophecies interpreters argue this could point to an AI power systems or digital images that issue commands or enforce ideology. Giving life to the image might be metaphorical, but in today's terms could be realized by autonomous agents, reasoning models, or AI agents embedded in systems that act as though alive, you see? And that's what Sam Altman was talking about, right? That's why Tucker Carlson was like, who's giving the authority to do this? You know what I'm saying? So it says the idea that non-worshipers could be killed. This could be seen as symbolic for punitive social, economic, and legal exclusion, right?
Yep.
But in more literal or technological reading, it is interpreted by some as identifying and targeting dissenters through surveillance. See? So those that don't comply, they're going to know.
Yeah.
See?
And a way that they're going to see that is through that social credit system. Because like we said, China already has that already implemented to where if your credit is below a certain measure, you're pretty much, cast out of society where you can't do anything, man. You can't shop at certain stores. You can't send your children to certain schools. Like you're out of the system, until it gets to a reasonable score.
That's it. Yeah, we said that earlier. That's exactly why. This is why the Lord must come. He said no flesh would be saved if he did not. Exactly. And just by seeing and understanding this is how we know that Yahweh Shai is closer than ever, man. That this thing is going to go down quicker than we believe. Reading on, we're almost there. It says verses immediately following Revelation 13, 16 through 17 talk about a quote mark on the hand or forehead preventing buying or selling except those who have the mark, often tied in the modern prophetic interpretation to digital ID, biometrics, or other tech-based control systems, right, as I have here. And we brought this out at midweek camp, right? But we talked about Elon Musk and his Neuralink and pretty much how Elon Musk is going to be the frontier of this chip being established. He's going to be in the forefront. Okay, his company Neuralink is going to be the spearheading this MOTB system coming to pass. You see? Finishing it out, number 2. It says Palantir plus NVIDIA, why some see this as prophecy in action. Here's what the recent Palantir-NVIDIA partnership actually is. October 2025, Palantir and NVIDIA announced a joint technology stack to operationalize AI. Palantir's AI platform, Ontology, AIP, will be integrated in NVIDIA's GPU acceleration, CUDA-X libraries, and open models, Nemotron. All right, let's jump down. It says why this raises prophetic concerns. Scale and power. A globally powerful AI stack combining one of the most sophisticated data analysis platforms. Palantir will be top-tier AI infrastructure. With top-tier AI infrastructure, NVIDIA could, in theory, be used for large-scale surveillance and decision making, right? As we saw earlier. Okay, this is where we at with it. Okay, reading on. It says real-time decision intelligence. Quote, turning enterprise data into decision intelligence suggests the systems could make or assist in making real-world decisions, possibly affecting many aspects of society, right? And they also gave the power to AI to push the button on the nukes, right? To control America's defense. So you already know how that's going to go.
Yeah, that's Hollywood.
That's it. Government use. Palantir has deep ties to government and defense. See, that's the spirit, which intensifies concerns about authoritarian or coercive applications. Image metaphor for those interpreting Revelation 13 in a futurist or techno-prophetic way. This kind of AI could be the image, quote unquote, not necessarily a physical statue, but a digital/virtual presence that commands, reasons, and potentially enforces. Boom. That's it right there. That's it. That's the image right there. That's going to be the ruling entity over humanity, the AI system. Okay? So that's all we need to read right there. The rest goes in. It got the supporting scriptures and all of that. But this lesson was long enough, man. You get it. Things to watch out for, all that bullshit, So that's it. That's all I had. I just wanted to put that out there, man. This is it, man. We in the end times, bro.
I just want to add one more thing too, because the way that Esau is trying to get around not having people realize that this is that new idol, because the idols of old could speak about how the idols couldn't speak, or anything like that. Well, this technology has made that to where that's possible now, so people don't look at that as an idol, So that chip ultimately is going to be that final stamp to show you that you chose Esau, man.
That's it, man. So yeah, we'll leave it right there. That's pretty much the point. We pray that this lesson wasn't too all over the place, but yet edifying. All right, we're moving closer and closer to the end of this thing. It's clear the Most High has allowed these prophecies to be made clear for our understanding so that we may see, man. All right. So, if you got the eyes to see, this is what you're supposed to be talking about, man. These are the camps, as you can see at this last second, they fucking doing a 180 and bringing out all these different perverse doctrines and all of that. And Esau got it all set up to keep Jake confused and distracted from what's really going on, what really matters, man. Trump blowing rod and, what else? Government shutdowns and, so-called race wars and immigration rates. All right. All these things are just major distractions to keep people from understanding this.
That's right.
Okay? So, yeah, that's it. Any last words, Bruce, you got?
I say just, hey, man, keep your eyes on prophecy, man. Hey, don't let all the different distractions take your eye off of what's really going on. This is what matters. We have to deal with the false doctrines from these other camps, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we still got to be on our watch to look out for stuff like this.
That's right, brother. Great point, man. So, with that, we pray that this lesson was edifying. We're going to close out by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Kakwadash. Hey, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.